Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review. We are officially 15 episodes away from episode 200. We are officially at the midway point in the tens, 15 short weeks away from 200. And there's going to be big things that happen within these next 15 episodes, and I will tease a little bit of that at the end of the show. But what a ride it actually has been. 185 episodes. So much has happened within the past 185 episodes. Dark Avenger Inc., comic related, doing podcasts now, working with other companies now. It's so much, and it's not even funny how much has gone on in the past, the mere 185 weeks. That's almost 4 years. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Wouldn't that be 3-ish?
3 years. 3 years.
You said 4.
Almost. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Also 20.
4 years is 200.
Why do you have to bring math into this?
Because.
It's complicated. Stop hurting yourself.
I'm gonna hurt you.
No.
I'm gonna break you.
Oh, don't you dare go bane on me.
Anyway.
Don't you dare.
Anyway, in almost 4 years, let's say, it is almost 4 years because there's 52
True.
weeks in a year, not 50. So 5, 10, 15, 20. You got to add the other
right,
couple of weeks. So it's about over 3 years. Let's not, like he said, go too far into this. Over 3 years worth of comic reviews, and so much has happened, so much has evolved, so many things have come our way, and
in a positive way.
In a very huge positive way, and I'm looking forward to what's going to be coming, especially in the next 15 episodes, but what's going to happen from 200 on. Hopefully, God willing, 20 years from when episode 1 happened, we will have episode 1000.
Wow, that's a
No,
long
10 years
way.
from now. 10 years.
Yeah, but that's a long way off.
Oh, that's a long, long way off. So anyway, guys, I know I've been talking about digital comic reviews, and the comic books we will be discussing in this episode were released on May 15th, 2013. And I have a list of the books that I'm reviewing, or have read, or am in the middle of reading, digitally for the week of the 15th. All my digital reviews, as I told you guys, I will be writing for comicrelated.com on my new piece. I did not post it yet, so I don't want to spoil what the title of my series is going to be. But on there, I will be going into greater detail than I will be here. I'm going to list the books I read now, and I'll give you guys a little bit of my opinion on the books. However, if you want a full-fledged review like what I do with the hard copies on this review, you can check out the series. I did not read Lord of the Jungle's recent issue, and I did not finish reading one of the books from IDW, which I'll mention the books I didn't finish reading yet, but it's because of that I didn't finish the written review yet, so it should be up within this week, and hopefully I'll be able to start up this week's comics soon, written-wise, so this way it'll be up by the time the next episode airs. So anyway, this week, from Dark Horse, I have 2 books. One book I do not recommend at all, and the other book I highly recommend. Dream Thief #1. The main character you have no feeling for. I hated the main character. He is a loser. The biggest loser.
Wow, really?
The book starts off where he's actually he was out drinking all night. So he's an alcoholic, drug addict. There's so many things wrong with this character that you won't even give a crap what happens to this main character in this series. Did not like the book at all. I actually did make a recommendation. I did actually, for a counter review, so to speak, or somebody who feels the complete opposite, you can check out intern Cody's review on Dark Avenger Inc. He actually reviewed it in a positive light. He actually found it really good. I sent it to him because it was a #1, and I had not read it yet. Wow, I feel the complete opposite. I hate the main character. I don't care what happens to him. The series was really just, I did not like it, and you'll see what I mean in my written review. Next is Darth Vader, Star Wars Darth Vader and the Ninth Assassin, issue 2. High impact, explosive issue, awesome. Definitely would recommend you guys check out. If you are a Star Wars fan, you will absolutely enjoy it. It takes place a couple of months after episode 3. Fanboys vs. Zombies, issue 14. Now, I know I said I'd never touch the book because it kind of was too much. It was started off at San Diego Comic-Con because of a bad hot dog, and I was like, yeah, I see where this series is going. But I decided to give it a chance. It's from Boom Studios, and this was my surprise comic of the week. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely
enjoyed it.
It's like The Walking Dead, but a comical, like a lighter form of The Walking Dead. It's not as action-packed, like blow up zombies, shoot them, and kill them. It has its funny moments, its anime-ish kind of panels at times, and I enjoyed reading it. It was a nice read. I did check out From Dynamite, Damsels, Mermaids, issue 1 because of the issue 0 that came out on Free Comic Book Day. It was an okay issue. Point A to point B story arc. Involves I forgot the mermaid's name off the top of my head, but they didn't give her name. That's right. You don't know her name, and a prince who was exiled because he talked up against the Atlanteans. Basically, they merge themselves. They come together and they form an alliance, and they're going after the Atlanteans, and that's basically the gist of the whole issue. Next was Mark Waid's Green Hornet #2. Mark Waid is still doing a spectacular job with Green Hornet. Damsels, Mermaids, I leave up to you guys. That's a series that it was off to a slow start, but we'll see where issue 2 goes. Mark Waid's Green Hornet #2, spectacular. Mark Waid is magic. He has a golden touch,
he's awesome.
and I would definitely recommend you guys check that series out. Harbinger issue 12 I did not read yet, but the Harbinger War in general I have been trying to catch up to, and so far it's been a really enjoyable read. However, this is from Valiant. X-O-Man of War issue #13 was a spectacular issue. Continues Death Planet, the Death Planet story arc, where it's him going against I cannot remember the name for the life of me, I will say it in the written review, of the aliens that had the armor in the first place. I don't know why their names are escaping me at the moment. Really good. I especially like where he called to the armor and it actually came back to him, and he suited up like in midair. Spectacular issue. From IDW, Doomsday Point 1 #1 was a really good book. As we got to the end of the book, though, especially the last couple of pages, it has me kind of like... Yeah. But the next issue could redeem that. It was just like the way they ended it kind of made me go...
Well, it is the first issue.
Exactly, so there is redeeming. It absolutely can be redeemed. And finally, G.I. Joe Special Missions, issue #3 was also really great. Did enjoy the moment at the very beginning. We called it well, I don't want to spoil it because this episode's actually this comic review is gonna go up before the related recap. But we did talk about scenes from this book in the related recap, which will be up on Wednesday. So don't forget to check out Comic Related Comic Related for when the related recap goes up. Or you can go on Facebook.com/TheRelatedRecap. And I'm very sure that we will be posting when the episode is up there, but it should be up in the morning to mid-afternoon on Wednesday, so look forward to that. We talked about a lot of the books that I'm going to be talking about here. I talked about a few of the books that we discussed here, if not all of them actually. Yeah, I think I discussed every single one except Doomsday Point 1 because I read that after we did the related recap. But
that's the first time I actually did that review on an iPod, really.
Yeah, well, I didn't show any internal artwork, which I'm sorry. I don't have any on my iPod. And like I said, this was more of a briefy review more than anything else because I want you guys to know my feelings on those books. However, the full-fledged review, once again, will be on Comic Related on my written series. Now let's get into this week's books that I have in paper, hard form. Sonic Universe issue #52.
Yeah. The
first part to chapter 2 of 3, because there's going to be 3 chapters, 4 issues each. Sonic and Mega Man are now in the Skull Egg Zone, and their job is to save Dr. Light and to rescue Sonic's friends. And Copybot shows up with the Genesis, I knew by the time I got here,
the Genesis
unit, Genesis unit, which Mega Man actually makes note to that way back in the beginning of the Mega Man series. They were destroyed, like completely, chips and all. And we get to see, I don't know who this character is either. Duo, yeah, he goes back to Earth because Dr. Light actually says there's trouble.
He doesn't say anything, he just flies away.
And spoiler alert, Dr. Eggman and Wily got the last Chaos Emerald. So within the fight between the Genesis unit and Mega Man with Sonic and team, yeah. At the end of the issue though, and we actually do get to see Mega Man's, I forgot what,
Tailwind.
Tailwind. Thanks to Tails, who actually I think helped modify that. He takes out Copybot, and the Genesis 5 or the Genesis unit are taken out. So then it's basically just walking around the Skull Egg Zone until they find Dr. Eggman, and it looks like the 8 roboticized masters are now revealed. So next issue will be Mega Man and Sonic versus the Metal Masters.
Looking really good.
Oh yeah.
I just can't wait to see how they're gonna handle these robots. It's like, oh man.
And if you did miss out on parts 1 through 4, they are available now for order at archiecomics.com. So guys, I know that they sold out on Midtown Comics, but if you really want this in hard paper form, I'm sure you can still order it at archiecomics.com. They claim it's available there. I have not checked before the show, but if you are interested in checking it out, archiecomics.com probably has them there, and you'll be able to get your
It's
hard
really
copy.
recommended, that book.
Highly. And with those and this, we are now out of the indie books, and we're going to start off this week with Marvel, DC, not Marvel, DC, because we only have 3 DC books, and then we're going to go into Marvel this week. I'm going to mix and mash it up, depending on how many books from each company. So I'm sure you guys don't mind, because a lot of you guys that stick around for both big two, both the big two. It doesn't matter what order they're in. And I decided to pick up Wonder Woman issue 20. This will be the 3rd time I picked it up. First time I picked it up I started with issue 1, kind of fell out after I believe issue 4 or 5. Picked it up again at I believe issue 18 or 17. I think it was 18. And it was for Cindy. Cindy did not like it, so I hadn't read it. She didn't like it at all, so I didn't bother. Now that I'm picking up more DC, I decided to jump in and check it out, and I believe this is the beginning of a new story arc, to my knowledge at least, and I actually did enjoy it. It has Wonder Woman versus Zola. It's an all-out fight. It's really good, and the only thing that kind of gets me now is, at the beginning of the story arc, it was all about, you know, oh god, why is this woman's name
Amazon?
leaving me completely?
Was it? I think it was on the other page.
No, I'm trying to remember the woman's name.
Yeah, I think it was Amazon.
No, it wasn't Amazon. But anyway, the baby's born now, so that's the only difference I see here. And Wonder Woman's now hell-bent on protecting the baby. However, yeah, they still want to destroy it. And Hera apparently is mortal now. I missed out on a lot. Well, it has been about 15 issues. I really should catch up at some point. And Apollo is with, he actually talks with, oh god. I think it's, yeah, Poseidon. He's talking with Poseidon, and at the very beginning of the issue, he sent Moon after Zola and her baby. And Moon is, I want to try to get a good picture, but I keep getting her back. That's what I'm trying to look for. Yeah, keep getting, oh, here we go. Moon to destroy the baby. The baby is like a huge threat to all the kin from Zeus, because this baby could destroy them all and take over the throne. So I feel like this is a story arc that just continually keeps moving forward and forward, and we actually get to see Hera's daughter at the end of this issue. It looks like the next issue is going to be even more high-impact fighting, so I'm going to stick around. It looks interesting, however, I feel like they're still on the same story, except now the baby's born and Zola's not pregnant anymore. That's the woman's name. I believe that's her name. So that's the only thing that really kind of changed. Instead of her being pregnant and them trying to kill her before she gives birth, now she has the baby. Yeah, and Wonder Woman can't trust anybody, and there's a reason for that. You can check it out in this issue. Yeah, we'll see where this goes. I'll get the next issue and give it a shot and see where we're going from here. But I know a lot of people drop Wonder Woman. I choose to keep reading it for a while longer. Maybe after a while the whole baby thing will kind of move over and we'll get a different story arc completely, like Wonder Woman doing something completely else at some point. I just feel like she's been a bodyguard for the entire series thus far.
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm not going to drop it just yet, so nobody worry. Nightwing issue 20. Nightwing versus the Prankster. Now, I thought the Prankster was that blonde-haired woman from the last issue. They keep referring to the Prankster as a he. And even the part where Nightwing actually goes after a prankster and he breaks the mask, I would still swear that this was the woman from the bar. Because even the way the eye is done kind of...
Yeah, it looks woman-like.
So, I don't know if this person is actually hiding the fact that it's a girl and she is making herself out to look like a guy. We'll find out, I guess, as the story progresses. So, Nightwing. I love how Dick Grayson only has one costume, apparently, because in the middle of this issue, we actually find out that he had to do quick patchwork, and yeah, you can definitely tell in this splash page that he's done patchwork.
Wow.
Also, the room that he rented out, the woman that he was renting it from decided to come back, and there is a funny moment between her and Dick where she attacks him thinking he's like a robber, and the person he rented from comes in and says, no, wait, this is the guy that rented your room out. So it was kind of a funny little thing. So I like that Dick is out of Gotham, don't get me wrong, because I did say on several occasions that it's kind of different seeing him out of Gotham. It's nice, it's fun, it's good to see Dick in a different surrounding also with like roommates and stuff, so now he has to be even more careful about his Nightwing persona. But it's still taking getting used to. Also, the Tony Zuko thing is still going on, and I don't know why Tony Zuko looks so scared, because at this, you'd expect him to be like, oh, Nightwing's here, it doesn't matter, he had that smug look on his face 2 issues back in the issue 19 where it was revealed that Tony Zuko was still, no, issue 18 where it was revealed that Tony Zuko was still alive, but now you see him like scared. He's like, he doesn't even want the mayor to call him Tony anymore, and he's carrying a gun around, and he's even saying, the last time Nightwing came after me, I gave up everything, my name, my life, my daughter. I can't do it again. I love how they forgot to put the space between do and it. Unless it's on purpose.
Or can do it like that.
Maybe. So he's actually scared, but the mayor promises that everything's going to be taken care of. Nightwing goes to Johnny Spade, who, if he wins a card game, Johnny Spade will give information away, and that's where he gives information about the prankster. Enter Nightwing versus the prankster. The prankster, I don't know how, is able to hack into Nightwing's mask. Okay, Nightwing's mask, which has tech in it, and blind him. So for the rest of the issue, he's blinded, and he actually walks into a trap. And the only way to get out is to take his mask off and reveal who he really is to the prankster. To be continued.
Wow.
That was a good ending. I would definitely say check out Nightwing. I was worried. I really was worried when the prankster was the next villain in Nightwing, but it looks to be like it's actually picking up, which is really awesome. Next up, and finally from DC Comics with this really eerie cover, is Batgirl issue 20 with the Ventriloquist. And this is her first New 52 debut. For those of you that know the Ventriloquist, in the pre-New 52 world, it was a guy. In the New 52 universe, it's a gal. And you get the origin of the Ventriloquist at the very beginning of the book, the first page. The first 2 pages, I believe. Yeah, the very first 2 pages, you get her origin, how she gets her, oh god.
Powers?
No, her doll, the doll.
Oh.
The puppet. And then we jump into the present where Barbara Gordon is a mess. She's been drinking, she goes to a psychologist, and she's just having a rough life, and they actually talk about events from the last issue where she believes she killed her brother. We all know that not to be true, because if you guys read Suicide Squad, you all saw that Barbara's brother is still alive and actually part of the new Suicide Squad, possibly the dark version of the Oracle in the future. So she exiles herself. Exile is a big thing this week. From her Bat family. She actually cuts out her Bat symbol from her chest and puts herself basically in exile, as she says. So she's no longer part of the Bat family. She's completely rogue now, as far as she's concerned, at least. And the Ventriloquist is at this show. It's kind of like, from what I could see, America's Got Talent, only it's called Gotham's Got Talent. One of the judges makes fun of her. She goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and kills that judge and takes another one hostage. Enter Batgirl, and she tries to save the day, but the ventriloquist has these powers to hack into tech with her mind, from what I'm guessing, or at least the doll does. Maybe the doll does. Yeah, another one, because the doll stops the batarang right before it hits him, and it sends it back to hit Barbara, and she's actually hesitant to throw the batarang because of what happened to her brother. She hesitates also to throw it, but I have a feeling there's a lot more. The ventriloquist has a bit more power than is being let on, because she's even able to mirror anybody's voice she wants and throw it. So basically, she mirrors this woman's voice and has the woman say that Batgirl was the one that kidnapped her, and that the police should attack her. And she didn't say it. The ventriloquist did. And she's kind of like, that isn't my voice. I didn't say that. That's my voice, but I didn't say that. And she's like, shut up. You're not. You know, I have the ability. She has the ability to do that, apparently. So after Batgirl takes out the security guards, ventriloquist is already gone. And we go back to Barbara, who finally, at the psychologist's office, figures out how she can track down the ventriloquist. And we also find out the gruesome fate of the ventriloquist's parents. And the last page, which I believe is leading into the next story arc, is all about Inspector Gordon and how, no matter what, Batgirl is going to pay for killing his son, because he also believes that his son is dead. So things aren't looking good for Barbara. I feel at some point that Jim Gordon is going to find out that Barbara is Batgirl this time around, because of how his vendetta against Batgirl, this is never going to end until he finds that out, in my opinion. So, yeah, a darker side of Jim Gordon here, where he's swearing to take down Batgirl, and I wonder how that's going to affect his relationship with Batman, possibly, in the Batman stories. This series, this story arc, feels a little bit like a transition arc, to be honest. It feels like, okay, where the last issue ended the last story arc, and there's the ramifications in this issue. The next issue will be probably the last part of the ventriloquist, and it'll tease a little bit more with Jim Gordon going after Batgirl, and then the next story arc will be the actual official next story arc to Batgirl. Gail Simone does an amazing job with Batgirl. Highly recommend you guys check out Batgirl. And with that, we only have Marvel left. So I think even though we have 5 minutes left, I'm gonna cut for the halfway point, and we will be right back with Marvel. Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a bit of a commercial break, so this way you can get up, stretch for 5 minutes, and we'll be right back after these commercial messages. This commercial message, because there's still just one for right now, and then we will go into Marvel Comics. So we will see you guys in a couple of seconds. Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review. And actually Michael is going to start us off this week with Marvel Comics.
Yes, and that Marvel comic will be X Factor issue number 256, the Hell on Earth War finale. And on in-depth review I was saying like final finale, and I didn't...
It's the finale.
Yeah, it's the finale.
Anything with an E at the end of it. Final is there, and E makes a finale.
I know, I was tired.
Finn!
Yeah. This comic book was like, what a finale. Like, basically it just talks about Mephisto giving Satana a text or a task. Yeah, it's her name.
Okay.
Satana? See?
Okay.
Yeah. So he gives her a task to do, which winds up that the Hell Lords are kind of deceased, sort of.
Even Hela, I'm surprised.
Yeah, and Tyre is just wow in this comic book. Like, he just goes after Satana and Mephisto. There are two people that die in this comic issue,
X Factor's breaking apart.
Yeah, the artwork's amazing, and there seems to be a new Hell Lord that's taking over Mephisto's place, and I will not tell you what it is. Just check out my in-depth review on Dark Avenger Inc. to find out. I will tell you this though as a spoiler. Monette is alive again, and I can't tell you who revived her. So, yeah, after seeing this last page of this issue, I was like, not really shocked. I was like, not so keen of the new Hell Lord, so to say.
It's temporary.
However, looking over that, the story was excellent. For those of you who haven't read the Hell on Earth War stories, from beginning to end, you really should. Or if you want to get trade paperback form, you could do that as well. But this is recommended to read, and what a way to end it.
I would agree.
That's all for me this week.
Alright, so moving along, I have nothing bad to say about any of the books this week, to be honest. Iron Man issue number 10. Greg Land is no longer doing the artwork. It is, I forgot his first name, but his last name is Eaglesham. I want to make sure I have the first name correct as well. Dale Eaglesham. Eaglesham.
Yeah, Eaglesham.
Anyway, from the previous issue, 451 has a connection to Tony Stark's father. And we are about to find out the secret origin of Tony Stark. And 451's connection to Tony Stark's family. So, turns out Tony Stark's mom can't hold a child. They've been trying to have a child for a long time, and she's finally pregnant again. But the doctor advises that, he says, I hope that for your child's sake, and you should hope as well, that your child doesn't come to term, because it won't live. And Tony Stark's father is a complete mess. His name is Howard Stark, for those of you that didn't watch the movie.
Oh, I did. Well, in Captain America, which... Hey!
Anyway,
not the
and the mother's like, this isn't the end, this is... And he's like, the contacts, the influence, the power, everything, and I can't even buy a day beneath the sky for our son. And she's like, our child. And he's like, there's something, there has to be something. And he goes all over the world. California, London, Tibet, the Eternal City, Wundagore Mountain, the Last Chance Bar, and then finally Nevada. And that's where he meets Rollo, who is a gray alien. I'm not kidding, he is a gray alien. Wow. And he says he might have a way to help Howard's baby, and actually that the Stark family is at the top of this robot's list, and this robot is being held captive in Area 52, which is a bar, or a gambling casino actually, I'm sorry, not a bar, it's a gambling casino, and somehow Howard's family is at the top of this robot's list of humans that he wants to, trying to find it, big personal download, all the books give scraps.
Well, there's lots of twists in this.
Yeah, basically 451 offers Rollo a proposition, and apparently Howard Stark's name is here. Gave me a list of hundreds of human people he wanted to hook up with. You were near the top. So basically, after that, once again, Howard goes around and assembles a team. Jimmy Woo from the FBI. The Bear from Demolition, Nessa the Kitten from Card Shark, Dum Dum Dugan from the CIA, those of you know him from Captain America, and for those of you Red Hulk fans, before he was a Red Hulk, and with a mullet, Lieutenant Thunderbolt Ross, U.S. Special Forces, and of course Rollo is the distraction, and that's where we got the poster of the Stark 7. So all of a sudden this becomes Ocean's 11 meets, well, we should call it Ocean 7.
Well, it makes sense now how the team came together.
Rollo is the distraction, and Stark and the rest of his team go in to save 451. As a matter of fact, they get in, but I forgot what the head alien's name was. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. It's just not going on. I don't know, but he's like a mob lord. No, Rollo. He's the head of the Gray. The aliens are called the Gray, and
oh, you mean that one? Oh.
Finally, he gets Rollo to talk, and Stark knew that Rollo was going to basically say where they were meeting. So they free 451 using Rollo as a distraction, and they escape with 451. And unfortunately, Rollo doesn't have the happy ending that everybody else had. And that's kind of where the story takes a pause. Tony Stark, in the very beginning of this issue, regains control of his limbs. However, he can't harm 451 or try to escape because 451 says that he tells the armor if he attempts that to shut it down. So basically, Tony Stark has limited abilities with his armor, and even the armor, which is called Pepper, calls him a monster and says, you know, but she has no choice. She has to obey him, and Tony's kind of stuck. The only thing that was hilarious was in the ending where he knocks Tony Stark out and says, think of it like this. Your parents loved you. All of your parents loved you. All? Are we talking Stark 7 and 451 are part of his family tree now, apparently? We all know 451 is going to have some type of a connection to the reason why Tony Stark is alive today. But
so it just talks about the origin story of his father and how the whole group formed Stark 7.
No, how Howard Stark's freed 451.
Yeah, like numbers.
So the next issue, I guess, will delve even deeper into 451's not only his relationship with Tony Stark's parents, but also he needs Tony Stark for something. Which is why he knocks Tony Stark out so he can rest during the trip. So apparently, he actually, I forgot exactly what he says. He says it at the end of the issue. Oh, we'll need your talents before we reach our destination. So apparently, 451 is going to use Tony Stark for something. We just don't know what yet, and we'll find out. But finally, after 2 really story arcs, even though the previous story arc connects to this one, after living through 2 story arcs that were kind of like, I actually did drop Iron Man at first. Issue 9 I did not get right off the bat. This series finally is picking up the series a bit, and I'm happy to finally say that Iron Man is actually, it's a slow climb, let's call it that, for right now. It's a very slow ascend up. So we'll see. Because this story can go south in a second. So we'll see where it goes. Next up is Wolverine and the X-Men issue 29. Wolverine is giving a speech. It's very hard for me to see Wolverine as this softer character. And he's giving a speech to the entire student body. It's a Charles Xavier speech, and we'll get to something about that in a bit. Also, there is the speech is interrupted with a brief earlier in the Canadian Rockies where Logan and, or Wolverine, because he doesn't want to be called Logan, because Beast actually calls him Logan. He's like, don't call me that right now. They break into Dog Logan's cabin and find a whole bunch of stuff that he had left behind. And there's only one thing that has Wolverine's attention, and that's this box that no matter what, and even Beast says he shrunk himself down to atomic levels and tried to punch the atoms to open the lock, and he could not. And even with his claws, Wolverine can't open it. He's like, I need to know what's in there. He's like, I don't care what it takes, we gotta open that box. More than that, I need to open that box. And then it turns out that Wolverine is making a time capsule, and everybody's putting something in that time capsule. And he starts to bury it, and then we jump 25 years into the future. And the time capsule obviously is leaving off like a beeping noise. So Wolverine's like, what's here? And they open up, and he's like, I'll be damned. And he's like, I don't even remember. He's talking with the Bamfs, and it's kind of funny how everybody apparently has beards now. And there are little teasers here and there. For example, they mention about how certain characters have moved up in the ranks, so to speak. We get to see a character called Carmen Drake, which is basically has phasing powers as well as snow powers, so that kind of teases Kitty Pryde and Bobby Drake kind of get together. There's mention of, I'm looking for the other names, Charlene Xavier, Rose Logan, Summer Gray, and Kubrick, Choir, Warren Worthington IV, Blue Skull of the Brood.
Wow.
So there's a lot of children from the students of the past that are now part of the future Jean Grey School of Higher Learning, and a lot obviously has gone on. One of the students, I forgot his name, but I'm so happy, in the very beginning of the book, I-Boy, they're calling him, I-Boy, as obviously now he's a man, is working in some type of a watchtower that's made out of a skull of a sentinel. And basically he's dealing with all the world threats. It turns out that Shark Woman is part of the X-Force squad now. There's a Captain China, there's a Krakoa Corps, there's a Thunderbird, and there's a Phoenix in the future. This is all a tentative future. We all know that the future can be changed. So Logan in the future wants to do time travel again. He wants to go back and send a message to himself in the past, because he doesn't know how that time capsule got there, and warn himself about everything that's going to go on. And I-Boy, or I-Man, he's a man now, says, oh no, no. Where was it? I can't remember. You know we can't do that anymore. After the last time we can't. No, Professor, no more trips through time, no more days of future, nothing. I don't want anything. That's kind of putting a joke towards the movie that's going to be coming out soon, X-Men Days of Future Past. And we get a bit of a possible teaser here. We have Wolverine in the future talking about the Hellfire Academy, which is coming up next. That's the next story arc. The Damned Siege, which we had a siege of Asgard. Will there be a siege in the X-Men world? Azael and his pirates, the Black Order, the Butcheress Mondo, Sabretooth's secret plan, the New Brotherhood, the Apocalypse Crusade, and Jean. I'm guessing that means Jean that they brought back from the past. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward to with Wolverine's Academy. So in the end, though, he's like, what would you do? Do you regret me being a professor? He's like, if I could say one thing, or if you're going to say anything to your past self, tell him I said thanks. And actually, he sends this little thing flying back through time, and all Wolverine in the future says is, thanks, bub, and good luck. And he gives him a key, and guess what that opens? Dog Logan's box. And it turns out it's these little sailboats him and Dog sailed when they were kids. However, this is leading into the next story arc, so of course there's an epilogue. Dog Logan decides to join the Hellfire Academy, as well as, and this is a spoiler alert, you might want to fast forward until I put this book down, one student leaves at the end of this issue. And here it comes. Heidi decides to leave. She leaves Brood, still not knowing that it's the Hellfire Club's fault that Brood is the way he is, and says, I can't stay here anymore, goodbye forever. And she tells somebody in a hood, take me to the Hellfire Club. So she's the first of, I'm sure, several students that will be joining the Hellfire Academy in the next upcoming story arc, to be continued in the next story arc. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. I'm tired of time travel. Really am, and over the next few months we're going to be seeing a lot of that. So, dear Lord, please stop it soon. First issue in a long time. Ultimate Spider-Man issue 23. This is 1 year later from the Venom Wars. Miles Morales' mother died in the previous story arc. That's how it was explained. And Miles gave up being Spider-Man. From that point on, Spider-Man No More already happened, basically. So for an entire year, Miles hasn't been Spider-Man. And in the comic, he's actually grown. I remember when I first started reading this series, Miles looked a lot smaller than he does here.
Oh, wow.
He definitely grew a lot from over the past year. And it's actually
so fast.
And Miles' friend, whom I don't know how he found out he was Spider-Man. Obviously, Miles told him somewhere in the previous several issues. And he's like, dude, you're going to become Spider-Man again at some point. He's like, I'm telling you, I'm done. It's over, and that's it. And actually, Spider-Woman was supposed to meet up with with Miles. And she's like, either I'm up. He's like, I don't do up anymore. And she's like, either you come up or I'm coming down. So he goes up and meets Spider-Woman, and she has a gift or a case for him. And he doesn't even look inside. He's like, that's Spider-Woman. That's Peter Parker's clone.
Yeah, wow.
And she's called Jessica Drew still, though. And she's like, it was made for you. And he's like, I don't want it. I appreciate that, but I don't want it. I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. And she's like, I think your mom would be proud of the person you are. He's like, don't come around here anymore. And that's it. And he leaves. And he goes to see his dad. And, you know, his dad, it looks like they're moving out. There's about to be a huge settlement. And actually, somehow, Spider-Woman leaves the case in Miles' old room. And yes, it's the costume with a message. A year is a long time. How many people could you have saved? You fall off a horse, you gotta get back on. And he gets these visions about his mom and his last days as Spider-Man. And yeah, he puts the case away and goes off to dinner with his dad. And he actually comes across Gwen Stacy. And she actually makes note that, wow, you've gotten so tall, you know, you've grown so much. And she's trying to talk to him about the Spider-Man situation, and he doesn't even want to hear it. He's like, I'm okay. And she's like, no, Miles, anyone can see you're not, and you honestly never will be. Welcome, you know, this is part of being in the club. And he's like, yeah, she's like, if you ever need anything, come to me. He's like, yeah, okay. And he kind of just like walks away. So he's abandoned being Spider-Man completely. Doesn't even want to hear it. You know, he's done. However, apparently, he has his spider sense going off at the end of this issue. And we get the introduction. I'm sure you guys saw the cover by now. The introduction of Cloak and Dagger. And apparently, Bombshell is still around. Now, I remember Bombshell when Peter Parker was still Spider-Man. That girl had a foul mouth.
She did. Like all those.
You know what? A lot better than Doc Ock as Spider-Man, I will say that. Even though Miles is still kind of like, I haven't been Spider-Man in a year and I'm not looking to be Spider-Man for a very long time. I like how they actually did the whole 1 year later thing on the first page. And they actually showed Venom, him and his mom, and the costume being thrown away. But yeah, he's definitely grown. I remember the first issue where he was introduced. It is definitely a huge step up. If anything, this book actually makes me regret dropping it about 15 or 16 issues back. Maybe it's been a long time. It's been about a year, if not more. Because I believe Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, Peter Parker did the first 15, and we're at 23. So it's been about a good year, maybe a little bit more, where I kind of ignored the whole Miles Morales thing. Maybe I'll go back and trade. I know for a fact that my good friend Jay has the entire run for me from issue 16.1 all the way through until 22 of Ultimate Comics Spider-Man for me, so I can read the Venom story arc, and I appreciate that so much. Waiting for him to get his camera. The man has a spot on Dark Avenger Inc., I tell you guys, and he does amazing writing work. If you guys want to check out his writing, check it out on Comic Frontline. Amazing written work, I tell you guys. But this story arc, I'm hooked. I would drop Superior Spider-Man before I drop Ultimate Comics Spider-Man after reading this one issue. And soon I'm going to be picking up the Ultimates. I think I'm going to wait a while with Ultimate Comics X-Men, but I'm going to probably be picking up Ultimate Comics Ultimates when the disassembled story arc starts. Finally this week, one of my favorite books, Nova, issue number 4. Ed McGuinness, Jeff Loeb. One more issue to go with the Dream Team, and then we go into a new team, but I'm not worried because the way the artwork looks great. So, Nova's playing dead for the Chitauri, but of course it's a fake out. And he actually meets up with a character that used to be friends with Sam's father. And his name was Titus, and actually we get a background story on why Titus is working with the Chitauri and why he is against Sam's dad, because basically Sam's dad wanted to leave during the war way back in the day to see Sam be born and to go home, and he was labeled a traitor by Titus, and he left, but Titus was left behind, and the Chitauri were about to kill him, and he basically, he became the traitor. In other words, he actually was the true traitor because he said, "I'll give you whatever you want, spare my life, and we can work together." So he worked his way up in the ranks for the Chitauri. He works with the Chitauri, and they put together the ultimate nullifier, which can destroy or create new worlds for them to rule. And Sam gets away, he gets the nullifier, and he runs for his life. Actually, there was something that Titus said where he said... he actually makes mention that he fought Sam's father less than a week ago, but this time he's going to take Sam's helmet, or his father's helmet. Sam escapes, like I said. Rocket Raccoon and Gamora are gone. You know, he's trying to communicate with them throughout this entire issue. No answer. He gets home and he finds a place to hide the nullifier. Still no Rocket Raccoon. And then finally he thinks Gamora and Rocket Raccoon are there because he sees this light from the barn. Spoiler alert once again, if you don't want to know what it is, you can fast forward to when I put this book down. But it turns out Titus followed Nova home. And he says, "Unless you want me to burn this entire town to the ground, give me what I came for." Which is basically, he has the father's Nova mask, now he wants the nullifier.
Wow. And
if you guys want some funny stuff in the letter section, there's actually one letter that Ed McGuinness kind of interrupted, and he actually teased the cover for Nova number 7, which is in the August solicitations. If you guys want to see that, go on comicrelated.com. On the right hand sidebar, there is a category called solicitations. Click that, click Marvel, click August, go down, find Nova, and that's the cover for Nova number 7. And obviously Ed McGuinness is going to stay on the Nova covers, but he will not be doing the internal artwork, at least for now. Maybe in a future story arc, Ed McGuinness and Jeff Loeb, or maybe just Ed McGuinness will come back. Ed McGuinness never stays on a book too long anymore. He mostly does covers now. He'll be doing a lot of the covers actually very soon for Marvel. So Nova is my pick of the week from Marvel, just because I really am enjoying the series. From the Ultimate U, absolutely, Spiderman is definitely something to pick up. Nothing bad this week. It was a really good week. It was a very light week, including even the digital books. It was a very light week. That, I promise you, will be rectified next week, because next week I paid triple the amount of money than I did for this week's books. Next week I have well over the 9 books you guys heard here, plus the digital books.
I think this is the first time in all episodes that you had a short pile like that.
It's been a while.
Episode 1.
No. It's been a while. We did have a short week a couple of months back, but it's been a while. 5-week months, there's always a very light week, and this was it. So it was just a very light week. Next week will be a heavier week. Trust me, I've already seen the list of comic books. But I know a few of them will be dropped, actually. And with that, that's it for this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review. So let's run down the list and square you guys out this week, shall we? Digital comic-wise, I'm not going to go over it again. Check out comicrelated.com for my written review. I will post on my Twitter when it goes up, and on the Dark Avenger Inc. Facebook page. We'll get to that in a minute. Nova number 4, awesome. Check it out, as well as Ultimate Comics Spider-Man issue 23. A ton better than Superior Spider-Man, I tell you what. Wolverine and the X-Men 29, pretty good. Involves time travel. I'm getting sick of it, but it was still a good issue. Time travel does not ruin the enjoyment of this issue. Iron Man issue 10 finally is on a slow ascend, finally. It's not exactly the best book right now, but it's at least moving up instead of continually burying itself. X-Factor 256.
Excellent issue finale. Not so keen on the new Helllord, but yeah, still check it out.
Batgirl 20 was really amazing. Definitely check it out. The new ventriloquist is here, but once again, this is definitely going to be what we call a it's just a filler series in between the story arc before it and setting up the story arc after it. So just a little bit of a warning, but it's still a good story. I really recommend it, as well as Nightwing issue 20. I'm slowly getting used to him being outside of Gotham, but Prankster, I'm telling you, I have a feeling it's a girl faking that it's a guy, that she's a guy, but I could be wrong. It could be a guy. I want to see him without the mask. Wonder Woman 20, I will be back for 21. Let's see where it goes. I still feel like she's a bodyguard over this baby. First it was over the woman's womb, now it's over the actual baby. I would like to see Wonder Woman doing what she did in previous story arcs. It's a good series, don't get me wrong, but at some point she has to stop playing bodyguard and do what she did way back in the previous series. Actually, be Wonder Woman. Sonic Universe 52, excellent series for those of you Sonic and Mega Man fans. Finally, don't forget to check out comicrelated.com for all your comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. The Related Recap this Wednesday. Me and Brand talk about these books and more, comic news, as well as the solicits for Marvel. And stick around for after the outro music. Something big is coming. If done the way I'm planning it, something big is coming. And it's teased at the end of episode 332. And we're not forcing this. We're not going to, rush to get this out. If it takes time to get it out, we will take our time. But something's coming, and you guys are going to enjoy it. It's not a new channel. It's nothing new like that. But something within what we're already doing is coming. You're not going to want to miss out on it. Don't worry, it's going to reach into this channel, it's going to reach into ink, it's going to reach into comic related, it's going to reach into a lot of things. A revolution is coming, my friends, and wait till you see what we have planned. I'm not even going to tell you any more than that. Also, don't forget to check out darkavengerinc.com. Right now it takes you to our Facebook page, our YouTube page. We're doing a lot of work on the YouTube channel. Lots of videos going up each and every day. Check it out. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, Dark Avenger Inc., or any of the other members on Dark Avenger Inc., please do. We try to give you guys 110% of ourselves in group form and in individual channel form. And we don't want you guys to miss out on anything we do. So definitely check it. Subscribe to all of our channels and stay in the loop. Love comments. Let me know in the comments below. Favorite book of the week, agree, disagree, whatever you like. Love hearing from you guys. I actually finally caught up on most of my comments, so I will be able to comment you guys back. Don't forget, Outside the Pages is up this week. Comics Point 3, we skipped again. Probably next week will be a new Comics Point 3. And with that, that's it for this week, guys. Take care, keep reading, keep collecting. I'll see you guys on Tuesday on the live show, and I will see you guys really soon in another video. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.